new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't undo your last hire, the no-show. Who set you back because they didn't show up on day one, or day two, or ever again. And now your product launch is delayed because you're talking to alien abduction podcasters to track them down. But LinkedIn Hiring Pro can help make sure your next hire sticks. In fact, businesses who use LinkedIn are 24% less likely to reopen a role in the next 12 months. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
This podcast is part of the Robots Radio Rocket Club, a program designed to help all podcasts reach their full potential. For information about joining the Robots Rocket Club, check out robotsradio.net.
Welcome to the Final Fantasy Lorecast, a podcast dedicated to the history and lore of the Final Fantasy series. Join us as we take a deep dive into the different worlds, characters, and so much more. Welcome everyone to the first episode of the Final Fantasy Lorecast. I am one of your hosts, Ben of Temeria, and you might have heard my name on a few other shows if you listen to the Robots Radio Network. But joining me for these ongoing episodes for this show are two fellow adventurers with us. We have Trey.
Hello.
And Steven.
What's going on?
So we decided to join up and finally do a Final Fantasy Lorecast because thought about doing a third show, because if you haven't heard, I do Holocron Histories and also the Wizarding World Lorecast, part of the Robots Radio Network. Check those shows out. Check out the network out. We'll get into that later. But thought about doing another show, so I was like, okay, what's another cool show? I was like, ooh, Final Fantasy. Looked online, looked around. There's no lore cast for this show. And I was like, well, that's weird. And, posted it on the Discord, and what do you know? These two adventurers wanted to join me on a journey, and I am super, super excited.
Yes, let's get it. I'm very excited. It's very deep, and we've got a lot to talk about, so we'll have plenty of episodes.
We will not lack for content. That is for sure.
Oh God, no! It's just, I mean, Final Fantasy's been around since the 80s. There's 16 mainline games, let alone God knows how many spin-offs they've done, let alone other games that are very similar to Final Fantasy that are quote-unquote in the Final Fantasy universe-ish. Kingdom Hearts, which we will not go over. That's his
No, they have their own show.
They have their own show. Go check that out too. It's by, I believe, the Almighty Crit Gang. So go check them out. There is a whole lore cast specifically for Kingdom Hearts. Might do a collab sometime in the future because of Final Fantasy. So up in the air. I'll get in touch with them later. But anyway, but yeah, we are not. This show will not be lack of content because there's just so much history and lore to these games. I mean, heck, I've been playing 14 a lot recently thanks to 16, and I completely forgot how much lore heavy 14 is specifically, but it makes sense because 14 is the MMO, the main MMO that they've been using for the last 10 years. So yeah.
And it's been hugely popular. I feel like we're probably going to focus on the themes and things they have that kind of run throughout the series. And then using that, we can kind of go down each rabbit hole of, so like if we do say the crystals, how they're different in 16 compared to 7. And we won't talk too much about 16 because of spoiler reasons, but just how they're different throughout. And I think it'll be a nice way to look into the lore as a whole and then be able to dive in and see how, because each game is so unique and they put such a different spin on it that we can look at magic in each game and just go down each, everywhere.
Oh yeah. It's insane. I mean, so how we're going to do the show. So part of the Robots Radio Network, we also have another show called the Dragon Age Lorecast, which is hosted by one of my co-hosts from Holocron, Austin, or known as Teacup, with his fellow co-host Shelby or Shecup. And how they do the show is they go by seasons, and each season is themed specifically over a certain topic. So to kick off our season, since we are going to go a season route compared to my two other shows, which is just episode based, we are going to go over certain themes and certain topics at first, and then we can dive deeper into like specific games, specific lore on that game, or so forth. Like the first season, we are doing our Warriors of Light / Crystal / Magic. So the first season alone is right off the bat a lot.
Yeah, Magic itself might be a two-parter just because there's so much in each individual game.
So, fun fact here. I've been writing show notes. I was starting to do show notes for Crystals. Crystals is going to be at least 3. Because there's just so much. Now, when we talk about, like, specifically, like, when we go into our Crystal episodes, we'll go over on what like each game has, but we won't go like deep into with like story or anything like that. It's mainly like what they're appeared as, what they symbolize, what they are represent in that game, but it won't be like specifically with like the full story of the game.
Right.
Because that's episodes on its own.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
But aside from that, we are going to talk about like what got us into Final Fantasy, why did we decide to do a lore cast about it, and what we love about this franchise. So who wants to go first?
Are you not the fearless leader of this thing?
I mean, I could go first if you want me to go first.
Yeah, kick us off.
All right. Well, I mean, so I've been gaming since I was born. I had a Game Boy when I was like 3. So I've always been gaming. Now, Final Fantasy, though, I was introduced to Final Fantasy, I was probably around between 10 and 13 years of age. But I've never specifically have owned a Sony console because all the Final Fantasy games were mainly on Sony. Because Final Fantasy is a Japanese style and made game, with Sony being a Japanese maker for consoles. So it was, different for me to where I started like as a full-fledged beaten game. My first was 15. But because of that, and I played it on Xbox, on the Xbox One, but I eventually was able to buy a PS4 and I actually went back and played bits and pieces of some of the older Final Fantasies. I played all the way through the 7 remake. I actually did go back and replayed the original 7 and played all of that because I played that first before the remake because I wanted to see the differences and what they were changing, because that is a very key thing for the remake. But and then I also did have 13, 1, 2, and 3 on the 360, which I still have, but I've only played like bits and pieces of it because I was the type of player to where when I play RPGs, I want to create a character and put myself into that character. So like Bethesda games were really big with me. Dragon Age was really big for me. So Mass Effect, all these different like RPGs. Final Fantasy was, a single made game storyboard with a singular character in mind to go forward. But getting older and replaying them and revisiting them, and it's like, okay, I appreciate this a lot more as a gamer and as becoming more and more of a fan for the series. And
I'm glad you've gotten wiser in your old age.
Oh, I have the gray hair to prove it. But yeah, and then started playing 14 back around, I think around COVID. Yeah, it was during COVID. And I got into 14 because I had a lot of coworkers. And fun fact, I worked at a GameStop for 8 years. So I knew about Final Fantasy from all my coworkers and story and everything from them. I just never had a chance to play a lot of them. And they got me into 14 because I was big in MMOs, because I love playing Star Wars Old Republic. I love playing Elder Scrolls Online. And it's like, okay, what's another MMO? Got into this MMO, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. You pick a class and whatnot. And I got talking to all my coworkers. It's like, so do you have to create another character for each class? It's like, oh no, this isn't Star Wars or ESO. You don't create one character, just isn't confirmed in that one class. You can choose whatever job you want and switch on command in between combat. It's like, what? I only have to make one character and that's it? That's very dangerous. And which is a good reason too. It's a good thing that game only has one character. Like, you only need one character because the story is so long.
Yeah.
But that's 14 is literally celebrating its 10th year anniversary this year. So
you'd hope it would have at least a decently long story. So, and you're on 16 now, right?
Yes, I am on 16. Yes, I am playing 16. Loving it, and surprised how dark it is. I played the tutorial / prologue, the demo that they had prior to the game release, because I had it pre-ordered, and I was like, all right, let's see how this one is. And you start playing the prologue and whatnot, and I will spoil the demo because it's free and you can play it and whatever. Holy crap. I was not expecting a demo for one to be almost 3 hours long. Two, how dark it got. And once you complete the tutorial, it's like, okay, I want to play. That's it? What?
I need more.
The game's not out yet? I have to wait another month? What's going on?
I actually hadn't pre-ordered it, and I was waiting basically until the day of, deciding if I was going to get it the day of or try and grind on Diablo, and because I already had it. And once I played the demo, it was just a must-buy. It was releasing that demo was the greatest thing they could have done for that game.
It's fun. I didn't even know there was a demo. I had forgot that it was even coming out. Like, I just not paying attention, and my buddy texted me and said, hey, are you gonna get 16 when it comes out? And I was like, oh that's right, that's supposed to be coming out. And it was like 2 days before release, so I went ahead and pre-ordered it.
What's really funny about it, so I left GameStop back in March, so I don't work there currently anymore, but even when I was working there, like, there wasn't a lot of promotion for 16. There was, and they barely did ads for it. They did trailers at like conventions and here and there, but like there was very little advertisement for the game. But then it dropped, and it
I feel like
shattered everything.
Yeah,
15 got so much promotion, and then it flopped the way it did. And then they did try to promote 16, and they said his name was Clive, and a lot of people made fun of that a lot because it was such a plain name. And so I think less was more, really, for them, because they didn't, like you said, no promotion. Then they just dropped that demo and was like, boom, look at this. This is what I've got. And it was just perfect.
And I think it really helps. So for people who are listening to the Lorecast, for listening to the show, and if you don't play a lot of the 14 MMO, the story in the MMO is phenomenal, from base game all the way up, and they have different writers in each expansion, but the main director for the game, who oversees everything, did the story for 16. And you can see why and how 16 has done so well is because the story writing is phenomenal. And he's learned, the director has learned all that through the MMO that's been going on for 10 years. Like the base game, good story. Heaven's Ward, if you play the first expansion, is phenomenal because it deals with dragons and specifically dragoons. And it's awesome.
I do love me some dragoons.
Stormblood is about the samurai and more of like an Eastern culture style. So the story is like slow, but still really good when it gets picked up. But then the last two expansions they've done, Shadowbringers and Endwalker.
Those have been the two bangers from what I've heard.
Yeah, I still need to get... I've only played part through Stormblood back when I stopped playing the game partially through COVID, or after COVID, because got back into work and had to deal with crap. So got back into it, recreated a character, restarted from scratch, and going through the story again because I completely forgot everything. And so I haven't physically played Shadowbringers or Endwalker, but everybody I've talked to that has played those two expansions say that is like the best storytelling for Final Fantasy. And then we now have 16.
All right, Steve, I know you're playing 16, but what did you start with on Final Fantasy? How did you get going?
So I was always a Nintendo guy growing up, like for the first 8-9 years of my life. And then a buddy of mine, the one who was telling me about 16, his older brother had Final Fantasy 7. So that's the first one I started on. Like, I think a lot of people our age started on 7 and was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. Look at these graphics. They're incredible. It just was in awe of the Midgar section. Is just, I still think to this day, I still think it's the greatest portion of a game. If they would have stopped there, I would have been, it would be my favorite game. But yeah, 7 was my first. And then from there, I just played pretty much every one of them. I didn't play 8 because I don't care for the junction system. But everything else, other than 8 and 13, I haven't played, but all the other ones I have.
Nice. 8 was actually the first one I ever played. The first RPG I ever played was called Lufia. Shout out to my neighbor, Justin Perry. I was like 6, and it had 2 saves. So he would play, and I would watch him, and then I would just repeat what he did. But I couldn't ever get further because I didn't know what I was doing. But then I never played anymore until I saw my buddy playing 8. And like you, I tried 8, and I just really couldn't get into it. And I think it was the junction system. But then I tried 7, and it was just, like you said, mind-blowing. And it wasn't the graphics so much for me because, like I said, 8 was my first, and I played some other games. But the storytelling, the materia system was simple enough for my young brain to grasp. And just all of it together, just it was just such a fantastic experience to get to play that game at that time frame. And the franchise just stuck with me ever since. I went back and replayed 8 after I beat 7. And then I've beat all of them, I think, up now until I beat 16 actually today, about 30 minutes ago. So
congrats.
I've beaten 7 through 16, except for the MMOs. I haven't played them.
Yeah, I mean, so you can't play 11.
And I've also beat the first one, the 5th one, and the 6th one. I haven't beat 2, 3, or 4.
Nice. Yeah, I need to do that.
So
yeah.
I am the fan. I am the nerd here of us three, and I am wearing that badge of honor proudly.
Hey, that is perfectly fine, and I'm okay with that. I'm a huge fan of Star Wars, so but I'm also like by my name, Ben of Temeria. I mean, if you don't know where that's from, it's from The Witcher.
Yeah,
I'm a huge Witcher nerd. Like I will put I've co-hosted the Witcher Lorecast from time to time when Tom goes out or something. And Toasty is always surprised of my knowledge. It's like, dude, I'm on the same level as you as a lore master with this stuff. Can we just do the show? Does Tom need to be on here? No, I'm kidding. Tom, you're a good host. Don't stop.
And there's way too much Final Fantasy for anyone to be able to master it the way you guys have the Witcher stuff. But I'm just really excited to get a chance to rant and rave about it, talk about how fantastic of a series it is, and just due to wait, like 16 lives up to the hype. It is.
It
I
does.
just finished it, and it finishes strong. It finishes strong.
I've seen I got an email from Square. And you get those emails from game newsletters, and I have Square Enix as part of those newsletters, and all critics are raving about how phenomenal 16 has been. It's been getting 5 out of 5s, 10 out of 10s, 9.5, 9.7s. Like, hasn't gotten nothing below a 4 out of 5 or an 8 out of 10. Or 9 out of 10, sorry.
So here's my question for you guys. If this was the first M-rated one and they clearly took full advantage of it, we've seen some stuff, and I'll just leave it at that. Do you think if they had been allowed to be this graphic and had this kind of mature content on, say, like 12 through 13, if they would have maybe been more receptive to the audience, like the audience would have been more receptive to them?
See, that's always up in the air. So it depends. So, like, say 12 through 15, for an example. 15, I could see they probably could have done it, but they were also wanting to go a different route gameplay-wise. So they also wanted to have it fun to where, not everybody could enjoy it. And they wanted... The thing with Final Fantasy is each game...
I hated the gameplay on 15. What do you guys think of it? Steve, you haven't said anything in a minute. What do you think of the gameplay on 15? Now, I love the fact that it was kind of the first iteration of this new action style we have where you run around and you do things. I think 7 remake has been great. I think 16's been great. But, man, I hated 15's combat. It was the worst.
So, Steve... it was fine as a button masher. You just you teleport here, you teleport there. It's pretty brainless.
I will say 15's combat is better after the Royal Edition. They did fix a lot of things with patches with the Royal Edition of 15. Base game 15, the combat was a slog because it was just all over the place.
And honestly, that wasn't my issue with the game. The combat was the least of my worries.
My issue with the game was like how slow the story was.
Yeah, it didn't make.
I didn't do any of the optional content to like flesh out his friends. So everyone says if you do that stuff, it adds more depth to the story. But I shouldn't have to go do DLC before I play the game to care about these characters.
That's understandable. 15, it was compared to, the previous one was being 14 being an MMO, you can't really, it is in a sense, but 13 being, like, the 13 trilogy being the one prior to 15, and everybody's like, well, 13 was amazing because the Lightning series was great. But then they would get to 15.
Was that the reception you heard? I thought people didn't like 13. 2 and Lightning Returns.
After 15, they went back, and a lot of people went back and said, "Oh no, 13 was great."
Didn't realize what you had.
Exactly. So, the first 13 I know had really good reception. I don't know about Lightning and Lightning Returns.
I know 13-2. People did not like it. I don't remember Lightning Returns. I think people thought it was all right.
That's fair.
I loved all of them. I'm happy. Oh, go ahead, Steve.
I was just gonna say I've gone back recently. I've been playing some of the older games that I haven't played since I was younger, and kind of as with my adult brain instead of a child brain, it's you get a lot more out of it, I think, and that was what I was excited about with the series, with doing this podcast. Is the series is one of those where the more you play it, the more you're rewarded. Like, the more you just put time into it, you get to see a lot of the stuff that if you're just speed running through it, you're not going to see a lot of the stuff. Half the fun in most of the Final Fantasy games is like side content that you wouldn't go unless you know a guy who knows a guy who knows how to get to this kind of stuff.
16.
So I'm excited.
The side quest is 16.
Not like that. I'm talking about like hidden kind of
hidden
stuff.
Yeah.
Ben, you can't talk. You don't know the struggle that I just went through to get that game done in time for this podcast, which again was just something that's going to make my heart happy. Final Fantasy has been a part of my life for so long that I can look back at like releases and it's a big chunk of, like, I can tell that the time frame, like 7 came out. I was like 13, 12, 13, had the side bedroom in my old house. By the time 10 came out, I'd moved to this other house. 13, I got to take a whole week of paid vacation that I had built up at my job to play 13. I really did that. I remember 15 coming.
Please tell me you beat the game
in
that
my
week.
life. Oh yeah, 100%, and it was fantastic. One more story, and then I'll let you guys talk. Final Fantasy IX. My grandmother drove me an hour to an EB game so I could get the strategy guide along with the game because I had struggled so much with 7 and 8. And then the strategy guide was that one where it was like play online to get the real tips, and you had to go to the website to actually get the strategy guide. It was the worst thing ever.
Oh,
if you
that's when they started utilizing
I'm going to send it
the
to
internet.
you.
That's when they started utilizing the internet more.
Yeah.
But God, EB games. I remember those, and I remember when we bought them under. GameStop, obviously did a merger with EB Games. EB Games still exists, only in Canada and across the sea, in I think Australia. No, Ireland has EB Games.
It's a very random.
It's super random.
It is.
Super random country that has EB Games.
I'm glad you brought up 9, Trey, because we had talked about it previously. Had those.
Well, hold on. Let him do the mid-break thing, and then we can get into the best.
Okay.
So,
got you.
For everybody listening, we will be doing mid-breaks in the show to shout out, anything that we do with the podcast that has nothing to do with lore. But yeah, let's get right into that.
This episode is brought to you by Perfect Bistro Cat Food. Hey guys, today I'm interviewing my cat about his perfect bistro food. Percy, you seem to be a big Perfect Bistro fan. Care to comment? Totally. What do you like about it? You love the high-quality ingredients? And the delicious flavors, of course. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Listen to Percy, guys. Visit perfectbistro.com to try it for your cat.
Tomorrow morning is knocking. Stock your fridge now. How about a creamy mocha frappuccino drink? Or a sweet vanilla? Smooth caramel, maybe? Or a white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Find Starbucks Frappuccino drinks wherever you buy your groceries.
Okay, just let you know, some of the mid-break sounds will probably not come through a whole lot. It does that with all my other shows. So everybody who's listening to the podcast audio-wise, you will completely hear it. It's just Trey and Steven probably will not hear it because on Holocron, my exit sound is a blaster bolt going off, and then you hear the Wilhelm scream.
So they're going to hear me talking over it, and then eventually we're just talking.
No, you guys are muted when those play, so it's fine. But yeah, so this is the middle of the show where we talk about everything with the podcast that has nothing to do with lore of Final Fantasy. Obviously, there's not a whole lot to talk about in this med break because this is our first episode. So I just want to let everybody know and thank everybody who is starting to listen to our show. We appreciate it. We are super excited to start this endeavor and go into this journey with you all. You can find us on Discord, on the Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net. We have a channel for the Final Fantasy Lorecast, as well as my 2 other shows, Holocron Histories and Wizarding World Lorecast. At some point, we do have here probably the next month, honestly. I'm going to be honest. We will set up a Patreon to where you can support the show financially to help us improve the show, and also to join us on the show. I will have tiers. There will be a tier to where you can join us on the show once a month at the end of the month, which we can talk about anything with Final Fantasy. Which, with Final Fantasy, there is going to be so much things that we can talk about. So much. And you can also leave us a review on Apple and Spotify. If you leave a 5-star review on Apple, we'll read it out loud on the show. As well as you can leave a comment on a specific episode on Spotify. And if it's a nice comment, we will read that out loud on the show. And we do have some people to shout out. Trey, do you I know you have the names. I don't have them right off the bat.
Yeah. So we set up the Discord channel, and immediately we had people in excited for the show that hadn't even, they didn't even know who was hosting it yet. And I don't know about you guys, but it was really exciting for me to see enthusiasm for it before it even started. So these are like our initial Warriors of Light. There was Lacerate, Caballo, Daniel, Three Eyes, and Blitz. So we appreciate all 5 of you, and we deem you our Warriors of Light. So thank you for getting us excited to do this.
Yes, I'm super pumped. And with those, with you Warriors of Light, now I need to know so they're all on the Robots Radio Discord. If you guys are listening to this, put down what job you are. I want to know what job you are in Final Fantasy. And we will get into that with us here and then after the mid break. But trying to think if there's anything else to add in the mid break. I think that's really it.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been on this side of it.
Fair point. You can also follow us on Twitter at FF Lorecast. And also, we will be live streaming these episodes on my Twitch channel, Ben of Temeria, at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, or 5 p.m. Pacific. With that, it's also the same day as when I do Wizard World, so I'll be doing 2 shows in one day now. So, fun stuff. But please go follow, please watch. It's a lot of fun. If you watch live and leave comments in the live chat, we will more than likely read out the chat and answer questions while the show's going, because we do that.
This is a very listener friendly podcast. We want all of the love, and we want to give all of the love, because who doesn't love Final Fantasy?
People who were never introduced.
I interrupted you. I cut you off because I heard you bring up 9, and I saw the look in your face, and I know you're getting ready to talk for like 5 minutes straight, and I cannot wait to hear it. So what were you going to say about 9?
But let's get... Let me play the exit cue.
Oh, you have an exit cue?
I have an exit cue for the mid-break, so let's play that.
Oh, I wasted that.
This summer, say I do.
I am marrying a stranger.
Like never before.
Am I crazy?
It's a whole new Married at First Sight on Peacock.
Thank God I woke up in love.
With new experts.
My name is Dr. Lisa.
My name is Paul Brunson.
More couples.
This could be the start of a very successful marriage.
And more surprises.
Or maybe not.
Everything is just not enough.
You're a little bit crazy.
I don't know what's going to happen. I want my fairy tale ending.
Married at First Sight, now streaming. New episodes Thursdays, only on Peacock.
At ZocDoc, we know being a healthy adult is like living in a video game. Every day has side quests, taxes, laundry, birthdays, and just when you're leveling up, you have to book a doctor. The insurance portal crashes, they put you on hold, your doctor doesn't take your plan, game over. We see you, so we made booking a doctor easy. Download ZocDoc, search by specialty, insurance, and availability. Book instantly, no cheat codes required. Find a doctor you love with ZocDoc.
Okay, now go. And everybody's listening. This is their first show, so it's all good. It's all good. It's learning. But 9, we were talking about.
This is
9.
Fantastic content, sir. I don't know what you're apologizing for.
I don't even know either, honestly. This stuff happens on Tom's shows all the time, so. But yes.
So 9. We had talked a little bit about it previously, and I think Trey and I both said it was our favorite of the series. Just from top to bottom, I think it's the most well executed game, and I think it has my favorite story. Ben, I know you like 14's the best, but you've yet to play 9, so I won't hold it against you.
I after, when we were pitching this show and we got together, they were both talking about 9 super heavily. It's like, it's the best story. And it's like, crap, I'm going to have to buy it. And lo and behold, 9 was on sale on the PlayStation Store. So I caved and bought it. So I will get to that after I finish 16.
So it's not just the best story. It's also, I think it has the best collection of characters, like the best fleshed out characters that fit the best within the world. I think it stays the most consistent throughout. Like, one of my criticisms of 7 is how it starts off hot with Midgar. Like, that's obviously, I said what I said about Midgar. And then after that, I think it kind of peters out as you go throughout the story. That's my personal opinion.
Until after Golden Saucer.
Yeah. After that, it's just,
you find out depressing.
Spoiler alert, when you're a puppet, and I'm like, all right. But 9, it stays great all the way throughout. Like I said, it has the best cast of characters, in my opinion. It has the perfect balance of light and dark, where it lives enough brevity in the story to where it's just kind of like, it's still very charming and kind of not childlike, but it's not so heavy-handed that you feel like you got to take a break every 30 minutes like I do with 16. I'm like, oh my god, okay. But it also mixes in very serious matters, and there's some real like heartbreaking moments. So I think it's from my opinion, I think it's the best of the series.
I mean, I think 9 has had the darkest story up until 16 for me. Like, when you look at everything that happens, and obviously we're not going to get into it, Ben hasn't played it, but I think it's the best Final Fantasy. 7 is actually my favorite because it came at just the perfect time in my life. It was just everything that I needed and more. I don't have tattoos, but if I was going to get one, it would be that stupid Meteor logo that they had from it.
Yeah.
But 9 was a love letter to 1 through 6. Freya, the best Dragoon. If we have a season on Dragoons, we can rank them, and she's going to be towards the top of my list.
I would say so. I already have
everyone knows Vivi.
Yeah,
I do know Vivi. I do know that. I do know Vivi. Vivi's in.
Do you know anything about Vivi's story?
No.
Okay, yeah, no, won't say anything yet. Yep. That's probably that is
a treat.
No. Because Vivi's is the wizard that's in Kingdom Hearts. Or that you see him in Kingdom Hearts 2, right?
Is he in Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah, because it's during Roxas's part at the very get-go of the game. You have like a duel with him or something like that.
He's very
I'm so glad I don't remember anything about Kingdom Hearts, so I can just stonewall you on all of
it.
That's
He's
fine.
Very similar to the Black Mage from the original Final Fantasy, so it was kind of a little nod to that. But yeah, it's the best.
But oh shoot, where was I going? Oh, seasons. So obviously season 1, I did say we were going to go over like the Warriors of Light, Crystals, and Magic as a whole. Season 2, I was thinking specifically going over the icons, because after Magic we kind of true. They're icons or they're
summons.
They're summons, icons, they're primals. So they're
called summons. Let's go with the OG.
In the most of the Final Fantasies, they're just called summons. But they go by primals or even icons. But they're the godlike entities in the world. Obviously, if you play 16, you play any of the Final Fantasies, they're the giant creatures you summon that deal a crapload of damage. Hopefully, that is true. I mean,
all right. So
are we going to cover the fat chocobo though? Because the fat chocobo is a summon.
Yeah, absolutely. In 7, yeah, chocobo. What is it, chocobo Mog or something like that?
Yeah.
In 7.
And then season 3, I know you just said you want to do Dragoons, but season 3, I was thinking we can go over the various jobs that are within Final Fantasy.
For sure.
So, now, do we want to do the classes, their prerequisites before you get to the job, or because that's the whole MMO side of things, but.
No, you're too 14 focused, man.
I am too 14 focused.
Hopefully I'm done with 16 by then, so I could start 14 and figure out what's going on with them. But yeah,
so
I
fun.
mean, they're all pretty standard, like throughout the games.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk about it more as we get there, but there's repeating repeating classes and jobs.
Oh, yeah.
Basically.
Oh yeah, we won't have a problem.
And then, other than that, like, so I want to know. I've only played a few side games, and I know we're going to mainly focus on the number games, but we will eventually. I mean, we'll dive into some of the side games and whatnot. What side games have you guys played that you enjoyed?
that I enjoyed. I've played the Dissidia mobile game, and I did not enjoy it.
We don't talk about that one. That one was bad. That one was bad.
I mean, other than the number, I never played. I always heard such good things about Tactics, but I thought when I heard Tactics, I was like, oh,
okay,
like
I have played Tactics, and I love Tactics. I mean, it's literally just Fire Emblem. That's what they based it off of.
Okay. Well, maybe I will have to go back and play it then.
But Tactics is a lot of fun.
I loved Tactics. I did not. I loved the story when I played it, and I went back and like rewatched it, and I didn't realize the depth of it. It is just absolutely fantastic storytelling. Just everything you can want in a Tactics game. You should probably watch a video of the gameplay before you go and dive in, because it's not for everyone, but if it's something that's your cup of tea, it's really good stuff.
Fire Emblem is not for everyone either, so but
I mean, Tactics is the one that I would think of. Crisis Core, I played it on I actually got a PSP just to play Crisis Core, and I remember getting stuck on a boss and then just giving up, and then I watched it on YouTube like a couple years later. But it was fun. I did enjoy it, and I do plan on getting the remake I'm waiting till it drops to $25, and then I'm gonna get it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that is another one I do have that So I had a PSP, but I wasn't in the Final Fantasy yet by that time. So I never got to play Crisis Core. I had a PSP specifically playing Monster Hunter. I've been playing Monster Hunter for 15 years. So that it's its
So
own
what's your favorite Final Fantasy before we get too far away from it? Because we know ours. What's yours?
Oh, my favorite.
Is it just 14?
14's great because it's an MMO, and I love putting myself into my character. But if I have to say a favorite, I would say 7. I love the original 7 because I played all of that, and I actually really do enjoy the remake 7. I loved all the added content the original director added that they actually originally had to cut out with the original game. But I like the different twists he's doing with the story to add, like, some characters who were supposed to die didn't die, characters who were supposed to appear way later in the game appeared at the get-go of the game. So
basically the beginning,
yeah, which is like, wait a minute, you're not supposed to show up until way after this portion of the game. What?
Yeah.
But I would say 7. I can't go wrong with Cloud. Cloud is great. And also,
can I defend that choice for just a moment?
Okay.
We all already knew what he looked like. We all know what Sephiroth looks like. The appeal in Final Fantasy VII was you didn't see him up until that point. But like, if you're playing the remake, you've seen the ads, you've seen all this. But Final Fantasy VII back then, it was just a different world. I liked the shock value of seeing him early, because I don't think they could have, like, if they would have waited till the very end of the game, I mean, it's just the same Sephiroth we've seen in all the videos.
Oh, it depends on
the movies. They were just, that.
okay, so they already did this. But then, yeah.
For me, I like the trade-off of getting him early and having him involved. And like you said, with the story being so different, I like that getting changed up. So I like the idea of having him pop up earlier, even if it was really jarring when it happened.
Yeah, I know. You mean you get after the train mission and the entire prologue, and then boom, Sephiroth comes out of nowhere, and it's like, wait, what? You're not supposed to be here, and then boom, Aerith, and then you see like Dementor-like creatures, and it's like, what is going on? And so, like, I love the changes they did with it. And the interlude edition with the upgrade with that, adding Yuffie into interlude chapters in between parts of the story really fleshes out to what she's going to be coming into for part 2, because she will be a full-on companion in part 2. And I'm super excited to see oh god, what's his name?
Vincent?
No, the tiger. Why?
Oh, Red 13.
Red 13. God, I read duh. I don't know why that
me over here
blanked on
muted
me.
saying it.
But like he's a companion now, going to be in the part 2 as he should have been in the first part. But I'm just so excited for part 2 because we actually have gameplay on it. But I would say 7's my favorite. Next to 7, I would say 14 because I haven't played all of them yet. So I need to play all the older ones, and then I can tell you what my true favorite would be. But out of the ones I played,
well, once you get to 9, I request a 5-minute segment at the end of each episode with you just letting us know where you're at in the story, so we can just gush over it.
Yeah,
just let us relive that story through you one more time.
I'm very excited for you to be playing 9 and 10. Like those, I gained a new appreciation for 10 after I played through it just recently. Finally beat it for the first time, actually. I always got stuck on one dragon that I just put it down forever, but went back and played it recently and just decided to grind.
I will say, I already had a volunteer come out to me about if we talk anything about 10 or 10-2. I don't know if you guys listen to the Two Girls, One Ship podcast, also part of the Robots Radio. Genesis, literally, as soon as I pitched the, hey, I'm doing a Final Fantasy Lorecast, she immediately DM'd me and was like, please have me on your show when you talk about 10 and 10-2, because those are my favorite games of all time. And I was like, whoa, okay.
That is the second best romance in the entire series, behind 9.
And that's exactly why she wants to talk about it. So,
You think 9 is?
I do. I see everybody says 8, but I've never played 8, so I can't comment on that. My favorite is 9. I think it's the best. 12 doesn't even have one, technically.
Yeah, 12 doesn't have one. 16 has one.
15 has the worst one.
Yeah, 15's.
15's romance was bad.
It was really bad.
It was bad.
I didn't love 7 either, if I'm being honest with you.
It really, okay, side tangent before we, end the show for this
That was
episode.
my favorite part of 15.
But, 15, just, the story just felt so shoved down your throat. So bad. The whole point of the story, is Noctis going to find his fiance and to go get her. And I was like, okay, that's cool and all, but she's not, in mortal danger.
It felt like a game without any feeling.
Yeah.
It was very, okay, we're going to design this game, we're going to design the engine, this is how you tell the story, this is the mechanics, and they just didn't add any...
With 15, I feel like they were more focused on the game engine and gameplay mechanics than they were on actual the story. Now, people, we can talk about it. We don't want to argue, but this is just our opinions. But it just the story just doesn't feel right, and it kind of also didn't hit it off well, because the first prologue, right at the get-go of the game, you're pushing a freaking car for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Why?
The problem, half their problem is that they had multiple, there's too many cooks in the kitchen because they had, I think, multiple directors or people in charge of it.
15 was the biggest undertaking they did for the Final Fantasy franchise at the time, and it was also the first one for next-gen consoles at the time, for Xbox One, PS4. So they were trying to maximize consoles, have it both on multiple consoles, make the gameplay good, and have a good entry point, because it's the first Final Fantasy on Xbox. So...
Well, they found a good spot now.
Well, sorry, I lied. That was not the first Final Fantasy on Xbox, because Lightning Games. But...
Isn't it crazy how we've got we only got one game in the entire PlayStation 4 cycle before we got the new PS5 game. You remember, like we had what, 3 games on the PS1? We had 3 games on the PS3, or two or 3 on the 2, and then 1 or 2 on the 3. I don't remember. But we had multiple.
I mean, you had Final Fantasy 10
and 10-2 were
through all the way up to 14.
We're on the 2
on the PS3.
I know with voice acting, and they try and match the stuff up with the animations. I know it takes longer now, but I'm really crossing my fingers that now that they seem to have this engine stuff figured out, they can start pumping out some games. Because we've got the 7 remake, we've gotten 16. We're getting ready to get Rebirth, also, right? Isn't that what it's called?
So yeah, Final Fantasy Rebirth, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. Now the thing,
that's
with
3 right
Fantasy,
in a row.
The thing with Final Fantasy, though, there's 3 studios specifically for Final Fantasy. There's the studio that specifically just only does 14. Just the MMO. There's literally a specific studio for that. We have a studio specifically for the mainline games, so like 16, 15, and all the ones prior. And then the Final Fantasy 7 stuff, all the remake stuff, is its own separate studio. It's its own separate thing that they have. It's completely side away from all the main other games because it's.
Well, I'm pretty sure 7, 8, and 9 all had different teams.
They had different teams,
and
they were all the same studio, though.
Yeah.
This is like an actual specific like development studio, different development studios.
Well, Square knows where its bread is buttered.
They're all part of Square, but different actual development studios for these games.
Yeah. They know where their money's made.
I mean, that's where Square makes their money. Let's all be honest. They don't make it from anything else. They do, but mainly Final
That's
Fantasy.
where they. I really liked Tales of Arise. If we're didn't they do that one?
No, Tales of Arise is Capcom.
Oh well, then I like that one from Capcom.
Yep, the Tales series is all from Capcom. Very similar in like how they're structured.
I don't remember what one I just played. I just played something that was Square Enix that wasn't Final Fantasy, and I was very pleasantly surprised.
Was it Nier?
Yeah, that was it. That was it.
Yeah, that's Square.
I had to Google. I gave it a quick
Wait
Google.
a minute, which one is it?
I played both of them at the same time. So that's like I played them back to back. But yeah, it was Nier, and I was really surprised at how much I enjoyed it. Even though I didn't beat it, I really enjoyed playing it.
I have bad news. The Marvel's Avenger was also by Square.
We don't talk about that game, and that wasn't even from the Final Fantasy team. So
I liked that game.
Okay.
I didn't like the equipment. I did not like the equipment, but the gameplay, I liked the gameplay. For some of them, like I liked playing as Hulk. I didn't like any of the flying guys, but like I liked playing as Hulk. I liked playing as Captain America. I liked playing as Spider-Man when he came in. Like it was fun getting to run around and beat people up with like my cousins and stuff. Who they were young.
You liked playing as Spider-Man in that game when you had Marvel Spider-Man literally next door that had much of a
I played it too.
Which was much better.
I mean, it was better, but you can't have that kind of Spider-Man in that.
Yeah,
but right, we're here for Final Fantasy. And so you're playing 9. What are you going to play next, Steve, that you haven't played?
I promised Ben I would play 14. Once I get done with 16.
I mean, you can. I'm multitasking to Final Fantasy.
I was just saying, I'll be honest with you.
14's MMO, so you can place that down for a couple of days and then go back to it where you're at. It's not that.
I'm probably going to mix in some 9 as well, because as I've been playing through 16, I'm like, man, I really want to play 9 again. It's just kind of that medieval style that I think fits so much better with Final Fantasy than as much as I love 7.
And that's the other thing. Like each Final Fantasy has a different type of culture, world kind of a thing. Where, like 7, for example, was very heavily machinery, but yet still has magic, and it's more modern. Where then you have 16, which is going to be a lot more medieval-esque style. And I mean, all the original Final Fantasy, like the original 1 through 4, were all medieval style because there wasn't really a whole lot they could do modern, but it was 8-bit.
Yeah.
So
there was
a
no
lot of 8-bit
steampunk
games back
yet.
then were medieval, so they were just following suit. But then I think 7 was the first one they did more of a modernist style, wasn't it?
I believe so. Yeah.
Because I don't think 6. Yeah, 6 wasn't.
Yeah, it was originally going to be in New York City.
Are you dead serious?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm glad they
got rid of that.
Yeah, there's some crazy story about like the very first draft. It was like New York City, and you played as like some detective.
Oh,
God.
I'll have to look into it.
I'm glad they got scratch that idea. Oh my god.
There's a little tease for the Final Fantasy VII Lorecast, the what if scenario.
Oh, okay.
But I don't remember what I was going to say. Go ahead, Ben. You're the leader here.
But but yeah, I mean that's we're just here talking about Final Fantasy, going over lore, having fun, talking about the games we'll be playing and what we're currently playing.
You're going to start like a guild thing on 14, right?
Yes, I do have a plan
on PlayStation.
Yes, it will be on the PlayStation server because that's where I play 14. So I have all the consoles. I have a PS5, I have an Xbox Series, I have a PC, I have a Switch.
Are you going to be on PlayStation too, Steve?
Yep. Yeah.
So
all right, all three of us then, man.
I feel like with Final Fantasy, it's the easier to have on PlayStation because that's where majority of them are going to be. And I mean, if you're playing 16, you're playing on a PS5.
Right.
So. But yeah, join the Robots Radio Discord. I am planning on getting a free company started, which is what their guilds are called. You do need 4 people, like the founding person and 3 other members, to actually start one. So I have one person. I have
somebody mentioned it in there.
One of our Warriors of Light.
Lacerate.
I got him. He just started 14. He's really liking it. So that's one person down. Just need 2 others, which the 2 others are right here. So once they get they get back in. But yeah, we'll start that up, and then I'll hopefully I'll try and get a free company like channel in the Discord. I'll see if Tom can put that one in once we get it up and going. But yeah, I'm just super excited for this podcast. And also, if you want more Final Fantasy stuff that isn't game related, check out the Final Fantasy Lost Strangers manga. So it is Japanese manga like you would read. There's 9 volume. The 9th volume just dropped this past week. And if you like anime or like manga, it's great for Final Fantasy because it's an isekai. So a brother and sister get hit by Truck-kun and literally get transported to a Final Fantasy-like world. And fun fact...
Digimon.
Well, they get hit by a truck, so they died in the previous world. So, but they got reincarnated into a Final Fantasy-like world. And fun fact, they worked for Square Enix.
That's funny.
So, and if you like Final Fantasy 14, the Lost Stranger manga is heavily based on the 14 series because it mix and matches all the other different Final Fantasies into like one of its own unique worlds. And you'll see a lot of characters from previous Final Fantasies in the game. You'll see races from 14. Heck, right when you first meet the main character of the manga, he's playing freaking Final Fantasy 14 Stormblood on a PS Vita.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not marketing if I don't know what is.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's some good marketing.
Because the manga started when Stormblood was out, and there's 9 volumes now. So it's taken a bit, but they started, it started picked up and releasing more volumes now. But yeah, and other news, Final Fantasy's Fan Festival is at the end of, actually I think next weekend I think, in Las Vegas. So Las Vegas Fan Festival is next week, so it's for the 10th anniversary for Final Fantasy XIV, and I am hoping we get news of a new expansion. Because it hasn't been an expansion for 2 to 3 years now.
Well, they just need to wait, because I still got to get through the base game.
Right. And
5 other ones
the expansions in the base game are not short. But
I hope they go by faster than
some of the quests are like, oh, talk to this person that's like literally right behind you, and then come back to me. Quest done. Now, before we end, I will do another side tangent. 14 used to be a lot longer base game wise. After I last stopped playing, instead of before with the new one now, they actually did an update with Realm Reborn, which is the base game, and like literally cut out over half the quests, the base of the game main scenario quests, because they were literally just fetch quests. That had nothing to do with the story, so they just yanked them out. And
well, that was nice of them.
Yeah.
But it's still long regardless, but it was a lot of the pointless ones.
As soon as we're done with this, I'm going to run upstairs and finish downloading and log in and make sure I can still get into my character. So I'm excited for some 14.
Yeah, and if anybody joins the Robots Radio Discord, jump in the channel. I can send out recruitment codes since I'm a current subscriber of the game, and you will get free stuff, including like chocobo feathers that can give you equipment, up to outfits, and a specific accessory item that will give you more XP when you're leveling up to level 25. Nice. Which is the most handy thing, because you start with a class from level 1, and then once you get to level 30, that's when you upgrade it to a job.
Okay.
So, and it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple on what class turns into what, except for the Arcanist. The Arcanist can actually turn into 2 different jobs.
Yeah, it's sort of like, how 12s. Have you played 12? They have the job system in that.
Yeah, I played bits and pieces of 12.
Yeah, and they have it in the Zodiac version. They've really improved on that. So
that's the one I have, and I need to replay it. So.
Yes, you do. Honestly,
if you like job systems, go play 5. If you ever get the chance, it's my favorite job system, I think. And I mean, that might just be the nostalgia talking. If I went through and ranked them, it might not be, but it's fantastic stuff. I think 5 gets slept on. That's why I'm jumping in with it, because it's a really good entry into the series. And 6 is great, but 5's just as good. Maybe not quite as good, but it's right there.
All right. Well, I think that's what we're going to have for this episode, for our first one, which I didn't realize how long this episode's been going. We recorded a little over an hour, and was not expecting that for the Meet the Host. But hey, if you're excited for us diving into this, join the Discord, let us know, leave a review for our first episode on Spotify or Apple. Everything is really appreciated and help us out. And yeah, anything else you guys want to add?
Looking forward to it. We got a lot to talk about. I'm ready to get started.
Yeah, I'm excited. Again, if you Discord your thing, jump in there and hit us up in there, because I think all 3 of us are fairly around.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely always around. I get notified on everything with my shows and this show. So I'm super excited. But yeah, I'm always around. I'm in a bunch of other channels on the Discord with like Witcher, Elder Scrolls, Dragon Age, all that stuff. So check us out there. And I do have a slogan or something to say before we end the episode. Just like my other shows, I have like a little catchphrase I say. And for this one, I came up with, "May the crystals guide you." Thank you for listening to the Final Fantasy Lorecast. You can find us on the Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net. You can find us on Twitter at FFLorecast, and you can email us at fflorecast@gmail.com.
Hi, Ryan Reynolds here for Mint Mobile. Are you looking for a beach read this summer? May I suggest your big wireless bill? It's got suspense, mystery, a slightly flat, emotional arc, and a shocking twist where you realize you've been overpaying the entire time. Fortunately, though, Mint's story is better. Every plan, $15 a month. Even unlimited. That's it. Happy ending. 0 tears. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.